Oh, I wish I had just done my video after the Meadows. Well, we're going to have to take the good with the bad, and there's no... Listen, I can tell you tonight, are there ways that we can improve those horses? Yes, they both had flip-flops on up front. Yes, the track was deep tonight along the rail, but everybody had to race in it. And I don't think you're going to get them from going in 2-3 and 2-4 tonight to 57, 58 anytime soon. I think they're race horses. They're just horses. And, I would predict that they'll probably, after we tinker a bit, now, of course, no chance in hell had to lose a shoe on this bad lag tonight. But he seemed fine afterwards. Can we tinker with the horses to get them to the winner's circle, to start their career off, on some sort of a positive note? Yeah, I suspect by the end of April we'll probably be able to win a maiden with both these horses. But are they keepers? No, they're not. They don't appear to be. This is the toughest part of the game for me. When you get there and you got a slick little gated horse like the Creatine Filly, Snap You, and a big powerful horse like No Chance in Hill, we're focusing on his lag. So I don't think we've been training him up very hard 3 days out, obviously, because we didn't want to aggravate or re-injure that lag. For sure he was slipping tonight. He did lose a shoe. The other thing, we couldn't scope him. The vet wasn't there this time of night, but it would be nice to maybe draw his blood and see if there are indicators that a horse is bleeding a little bit. The bilirubin is one of them also, and it might behoove us to maybe draw the blood on No Chance in Hill. The other filly, we got to clean her gait up. She's hitting herself. When I went to ask her to accelerate into the backstretch, she got right over on the left shaft and almost went inside the pylons. You don't see that very often. And almost certainly what happened there is she went to accelerate, I would say, hit herself, what you would call, what their dressage people are, you'd give them a little stinger. She'd give herself a little whack, and it pinched her. She didn't run, so good for her in that regard, but did saunter over against the pylons, and around the last turn it felt like maybe she was gonna fight back a little bit. She tried. I don't want to say neither of them tried. I just think they're overnight horses, fair overnight horses. Maybe Buckeyes, but they're not stake horses, in my opinion. So I suspect our job will be to try and maneuver them into a position where they can win a maiden, and then we'll make a decision after that. But I don't think you're going to see No Chance in Hill or Snap You race under the stable's banner this summer. I just don't see that happening. Well, stranger things have happened, I suppose. But that would be my take. Now, this afternoon was much better. I had a couple of winners for Tim, which always makes me feel good when I can help out. And we had Kemp race. It was so... Kemp's such a... I know him so well now, and his traits, his tendencies, and I'd asked Dean when I was walking up the horse, how is he today? And he said, seems a little off left hind. I know Kemp. Track was a little bit hard, probably stinging him a little bit today, and when he starts to look like he's off left hind, what it is he's loading weight behind a little bit. He's actually off up front, putting a little more pressure on his hind end than you'd like to see, and that manifests in that left hind. Ever since he was a baby, his first lifetime win, he was off left hind. We always looked in his left hind, ankle maybe, lower hock, stifle once in a while, but it was always from loading, right? And in the post braid, I could tell a little off left front and a little off left hind. And that's why I was so soft for them coming into the gate. Most of his races, you can just put him on the gate, but that one race he made a break on Jason here, he was hurting a little bit too. He's not stupid. If he's hurting and he's a little agitated like he was in the post braid, I could see him throwing his head and acting up. That's not Kemp. He's feeling good, he's sharp, but not the same thing as today. He was just a little bit agitated. So I jogged him around a full lap, jogged him around a little bit more, and then I brought him in slow to the gate. Once I got him away good. I know Aaron wanted to make front. Now, I had to push through a little bit, make sure that Jeremy get in the 3-hole. I wanted to sit in the 2-hole. Aaron wanted me to remove to the front. I didn't care if he went a half 105. I wasn't removing. So he sat there, and I thought I kind of screwed myself in the last turn. Aaron was walking in front of me. Jeremy was getting away. I kind of had to crash my way out a little bit. And then once I did, I was going to come to the outside, and I saw him, he kind of drifted left, and it looked like there was a hole there, and I shot through him. When I did, he got free and clear. I'm thinking, second's okay anyway. It looked like I was going to out-trot the horse on the far outside, and then all of a sudden, maybe 150 yards to the wire, I knew I had him. I thought I did anyway. I thought I had him measured, and Kemp, he's a funny horse. For a horse that will give it up so much on the front end, he will fight. He will try to run a horse down, especially late in the stretch. You guys, there was a really strong headwind today, and for him to finish up as hard as he did, and I know he wasn't on the top of his game today, just goes to show, he's just not the soundest horse, but he's turned into a well-rounded, aged horse, and a real pleasure to drive. Once you know him. So a great mile from him today. I talked to Tim after and said, he is a little sore today. It might be worth giving him some anti-inflammatories and cooling him out. And Tim was already on top of it. He'd already talked to the vet. And he's not like lame, but I just know him, right? You can't bring Kemp to the race week in and week out like that. So I told him, I said, just go easy with him. And if you don't think they race next Thursday, which is good. I said, if you don't think that he's having a good week, just don't enter him. Just give him a week off. No big deal. He's raced great 2 weeks, off a week. I wouldn't worry about it. But he wasn't on the top of his game today, but raced great. So it was nice to win with him. It was nice to win with Tim's horses. Had a great day at the Meadows, and it was supposed to pour rain all day there. I got there. It rained a bit. I wasn't dry, but we didn't get soaked like we were supposed to. When I looked at the weather the night before, I'm like, oh my God, it is going to be a monsoon. And I had just gone through it at the qualifiers. I was not looking forward to it. And then to get back here tonight, it was supposed to be really cold. It was cold, but it wasn't bad. And obviously not the finish we wanted. And, it's tough when you go on the track and you're racing horses that are not favorites. They're not favored to win. They're not supposed to win. More times than not, they don't. And I thought I had a real good, cheap second quarter with Snap You. I thought 102. She goes a mile and 2.3. She's a winner. Not the case. Finished 6th. And then ended up in a perfect spot. Apparently, seemingly at the time, a perfect spot with no chance in Hill, and had to get him out moving. He didn't race good. So there are things we can do. We're going to try and clean up Snap's gate a little bit. Get a look at some blood work at Chance and see if we can't help him a little bit. And hopefully get wins with these guys before, I said April, I apologize, before the month of March is over. We'd like to get a win or two out of them if we could. And then at that point, we'll probably move them on, I would imagine. So it's going to be a little bit of a salty month for us. Not a lot of horses ready yet. Our 3-year-olds are not ready yet, nor should they be. We don't have a ton of horses left racing at Northfield Park yet. We'll have a couple pop in here and there. But not a ton of horses racing for the month of March. So we do have some racing. Obviously, Spitfire's racing well, raced well last week, and hopefully he continues that trend through the month of March and into the latter part of the spring. Now, I will tell everybody, the same as I say about all our 4-year-olds that are newly minted 4-year-olds, I'd like to get them to May, give them the summer off, and focus on the fall of their 4-year-old year, and Spitfire will be no different. We have some horses racing in the Meadows, some horses getting ready to race at the Meadows. So we're not without our starts. We have Kenobi racing in the East Coast. We have Texong, Soprano, and Delicious Stone at Yonkers. We're not without our starts. Just a little dry at Northfield right now. So we'll try and clean things up and get our horses going, the ones we have going here. Excited to see Joey. Lauren, for everybody wondering, Lauren's gone away on the weekend to Florida, where I just was. And Joey Cramp is going to get a drive on Walter's Keepsake. I look quick at the list. He's going to have to race from behind. We all know he can race parked. So we'll see how he makes out. I so desperately want to see Joey win a race. Great kid, works for us and works real hard. Second generation, old school horseman, and Lauren's done a great job for us, and hopefully Joey's a good stand-in for Saturday night. So excited to see that happen. And then our horses racing obviously at Mohawk and whatnot. A little bit of a nostalgic race on Monday. We have Spitfire, who is ours, racing against Carter and Resolute Bay, who we just moved. So interesting to see how that plays out on Monday. So lots of storylines, lots going on, lots of things happening. But for tonight at Northfield, a little dull. So with that, I'll talk to you all soon. For those of you wondering, we are going to train some horses tomorrow. We are going to train some horses on Friday. And then Tuesday, we're going to video here in Ohio. We are going to drone Saturday at First Line Training Center in Ontario. The reason being, we had a number of horses getting some maintenance done, some splints crowd, some curbs crowd. 3 horses were castrated a week ago. Didn't want to rush them into anything, so we're going to go with a couple of small training days. The track's going to be a little harder tomorrow, so there's no real need to go with the horses that are getting sounder, getting better, getting stronger. So we're just going to go easy with them. Train them on Friday when it's going to be a much nicer day. Friday I'm going to go over to the meadows and race, come back here. Mom and I and the kids are going to climb into the car and drive all the way back to Ontario. She has a flight Saturday afternoon out of Pearson Airport. We're going to be training at First Line Training Center, and then back we come. So with that, I'll let you go. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. My apologies to my partners with Snap and with Snap and Chanceless, and we're doing the best we can. But I don't think there was any mistakes made with either horse. I think they're just ordinary horses that were trying to get in a good spot to improve their, career and do better for us and for themselves moving forward. So that's what we're going to keep trying to do. Take care.